You ever have that friend, the one who's head over heels in love and just wants everyone else around them to be just as in love as they are, so they concoct these schemes and these ways that their other single friends can find a partner? Yes. Well, prior to me being the overly in love person that I am today, I didn't believe in it. I didn't believe in love. I didn't believe in romance. I didn't even believe it was possible for one person to not be a complete piece of shit. So I made it my life's mission to never get involved with anyone. And especially after the events that occurred in my previous episode, I really wasn't looking for a relationship. I had just come to terms with my sexuality. I was living, I was breathing, I was just doing the damn thing all by myself. And then my coworker decided she was going to make it her mission to get me hooked up with one of her very best friends. In today's episode, the one with the other local gay girl, I tell you guys the incredibly unbelievable story of when I met who is now one of my closest friends, but how a really bad attempt at a hookup led to one of the greatest friendships I've ever had. But trust me, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows and lollipops. It was actually kind of embarrassing. After I'd gotten out of that very overly dramatic college relationship that I had, I was living at home, going to school online, and working full-time at a local pizza place. Think Mystic Pizza, but more white trash. Like Julia Roberts, but a little bit like the Great Value version of Mystic Pizza. That's where I worked. And working there, I met 3 of my closest friends. One of which, like I said, was one of those people that when she was in love and happy and together, she just wanted everyone else around her to find a partner just like she had. And of course, I was the only single person who worked there, so she was making it her mission to hook me up with whoever she could find. Just so happened that she happened to be friends with another gay girl, who also happened to be one of the only other gays in the neighborhood. So naturally, she decided to try and get us to connect. Can still remember this day like it was yesterday. It was a Friday night. Was in the middle of our dinner rush. My coworker looked to me and said, "Hey, you want to come to a house party later? I'm going over to my friend's house. Beer pong, music, chilling. You can meet some of my friends. You know, you might actually want to kick it with us sometime." I didn't have any friends that drank. I didn't have any friends that did anything besides go to church on Sunday and talk shit about each other. So I decided, why the hell not? I agreed. She said, cool. She ran to the deli across the street, grabbed us a 6-pack, some of them mini little shooters, and said, meet me at this address when you get off at 11. She said, oh yeah, by the way, you know the girl that works at the bakery next door? Well, she's going to be there. She's single and gay. Now, I know what you're thinking. This isn't one of those times that I'm going to sit here and ridicule every straight person who thinks that all gay people want to date each other or all gay people know each other. That's not what I'm saying. However, in the neighborhood I grew up in, there weren't a lot of us around. So the fact that there was another gay person who was also in my age range, pretty sure my coworker had like an aneurysm at the fact that she could bring these 2 lesbian loves together. So I went. Got dressed at work, took the little 15-minute walk to this girl's house, knocked on the door, and got prepared to get a little culture shocked at what I walked into. I wasn't one of those girls in high school that had a lot of friends. So I didn't get to go to a lot of high school parties and go to people's houses and drink beer in the basement like you see in all the movies. I didn't have friends like that. I had friends that went to the mall, went to the movies, didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't really do anything fun. So naturally, now that I'm 22 and living out my wonder years of house partying, beer pong, and bullshit, I decided, why not give it a shot? So me and my friend are hanging out, we're drinking, we're talking, she's introducing me to all of her friends, and then all of a sudden, she walked in. For respect and privacy purposes, we're going to call her Shane. We're only going to call her Shane because if I have any LGBTQ listeners, everyone knows Shane McCutcheon. Whether you actually watched The L Word, just know about it because of the culture references, or maybe you've seen the reboot. This girl was literally Shane. Rugged, tomboyish, complete sex symbol. Everybody wanted her, but she didn't want anybody. That's who she was. To me, anyway. And I was low-key into her. So, she walks in, introduces herself to me. Now, granted, we'd been talking on Facebook on and off, doing the Facebook flirting, messaging, cute little messages, talking about how we should hang out and actually meet in person, but we never actually did. So, naturally, the first time I'm meeting this girl face-to-face, and I'm a nervous wreck. I've been doing shots, having a couple beers, so I feel a little confident. We're literally sitting next to each other, and this is how lame I am. We're actually sitting next to each other while everyone's playing beer pong, and I pull out my phone and message her on Facebook. I know, I'm lame. I'm actually looking at the messages right now because I never delete any of my threads. And mind you, this happened like about 5-6 years ago. So the fact that I still have this thread just shows you that I'd never delete anything. So we were messaging each other, literally sitting right next to each other. And finally she says, hey, do you want to go outside and smoke? Solid. We go outside, sit on the porch, and we're talking. Getting to know each other, we're vibing, telling each other our coming out stories. And, oh, how long have you been out? And, oh, who knows? And is it a secret? And then she kisses me. Mind you, I haven't been with anyone since that crazy girl I talked about in episode 1. But we kissed, and it was okay. It wasn't terrible. Then we go back in the house, and things get a little more heated, and we start making out on the couch. Moves from the couch to the kitchen to the back door, and then finally we decide to just go home. She asks if she can walk me home. I was nervous. She had a reputation in the neighborhood for being a little rough when it came to sex and being physical, and I was terrified. But she was a gentlewoman. She walked me all the way home, made sure I got to my front door okay, and we stood on my front porch and made out some more. Things got a little bit more rough and a little more tough, but we actually had a pretty good time. Then she asked if she could come in, and I told her I didn't feel comfortable with that. But we agreed to kind of sort of link up at another time. The next day I go to work, and I have hickeys the size of golf balls on the sides of my neck. And then my low-key hungover ass had to realize that I'd made a complete ass out of myself in someone else's house. I apologized. I sent messages to the girl whose house I was at, and I said, I'm so sorry, that is not at all who I am. And she said that she completely understood, and she said, you know what, that's not even your fault. Shane should have known better, because she'd been over there before. So I low-key got the girl banned from going to any further house parties. But I mean, I had a good time. Fast forward a couple of weeks, and we go out again for drinks. We go to a bar, we have a couple of drinks, we get a little shit-faced, and she says, well, I'm taking you home to my house. Didn't know that she wasn't allowed to have people over her house, but she sneaks me in the back door, up into her bedroom, and while High School Musical 3 plays in the background, we have what can only be described as the worst sex I've ever had. And it wasn't bad because she was bad. It was bad because we were both very dominant tops. And, anything about lesbian sex lingo, two tops does not a good moment make. We did not mesh. It didn't connect. It was very awkward. But it was fun. And it was the first time that I'd ever actually done anything like that before. It was my first real experience going home with a girl from a bar and hooking up. And it was the first time I was ever actually free and out. And it wasn't a secret, or it wasn't hidden, or it wasn't, sneakaways and going all the way up to Wilkes-Barre and the boonies to go get laid. It was right in my own backyard. And after we determined that sex with us was probably not a good idea, and we were way too similar to even begin to have a relationship, we decided to just be cool. And it's probably one of the best friendships that I've ever had. To this day, we're still cool. I literally went to New York for Pride last year with my wife and our friends, and she hit me up and was like, hey, we should link. I've been at my lowest, depressed and sad and drinking myself into a stupor, and she's literally called me on the phone and calmed me down. She's been a constant in my life since that day, and it's been about 6 years. So the fact that a really awkward sexual encounter with the local gay girl turned into a really awesome friendship, I mean, how can you go wrong with that? So the moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, is if you can't fuck it, befriend it. That's my motto. And in this case, the one with the local gay girl, I got an amazing friend and a hilarious story to tell other gay women when talking about the worst sexual experiences we've ever had. So sometimes it's completely normal to have a person who may not have been the romantic story that you thought, but rather a really great friend that you can look back on a moment in time and think, wow, we really did that.